Long ago, over 3,200 years passed, the lands around the Mediterranean and Near East were home to a flourishing, interconnected world. Kingdoms rose and built grand palaces, cities bustling with trade, culture, writing, and art. But then, within a few decades, this age of bronze and prosperity collapsed. Empires fell, cities burned or were abandoned, trade vanished, and many ancient peoples vanished from history's map. Tonight, we journey softly into the story of that collapse. Imagine a world stretching from the shores of Italy to Egypt, from Anatolia, modern Turkey, across the Levant and beyond. Trade networks spanned thousands of kilometers. Copper mined in Cyprus, tin from Afghanistan, together made bronze, the metal of swords, tools, and statues. Ships sailed the seas carrying precious goods, gold, ivory, ceramics, glass, exotic materials. Palaces rose, wealth flowed. Scribes kept records, writers composed tablets. Complex civilizations thrived. History +2, Biblical Archaeology Society +2. This interconnectedness, once a strength, would later become part of what made collapse so widespread. World history. But beneath the surface, trouble was building. Around the late 13th and early 12th centuries BCE, the climate began shifting. Drought spread. Evidence from pollen, geological, and sediment records suggests rainfall declined, crops failed, and harvests shrank. Such environmental stress weighed heavily on agrarian societies dependent on reliable seasons. The food shortages likely sparked famine. As people struggled to survive, tensions grew. Class divides, centralized bureaucracies, and palace economies, once stable, began to crack under pressure. Some argue that soil degradation, over-farming, mismanagement of water, and land worsened the crisis for farmers and cities alike. Medium +2 History Greek. That or +2. Meanwhile, city after city was vulnerable. Earthquake storms reportedly shook the eastern Mediterranean. Seismic activity damaged infrastructure. Entire urban centers may have been destabilized by repeated quakes. All these stresses, drought, famine, environmental degradation, natural disasters, slowly eroded the fragile foundations of late Bronze Age civilizations. As internal stress mounted, external shocks followed. A mysterious confederation of raiders, referred to in ancient texts as the Sea Peoples, began attacking coastal cities and disrupting trade and security. Histories record cities burned, ports destroyed, kingdoms overwhelmed. These invasions compounded the already strained economies. Trade routes, especially those transporting tin and other crucial materials, broke down. Without tin, bronze production collapsed. Bronze was the lifeblood of weaponry, tools, craft, art. Societies dependent on such trades suffered heavily. Allocation +2, the archaeologist +2. Simultaneously, political systems, centralized, palace-based, bureaucratic, began to unravel. With famine, social unrest, migration, and war, civil structures collapsed or fragmented. Internal rebellions, uprisings, local revolts likely played a role in hastening the downfall. World History Encyclopedia +2, Fiveable +2. By the end, entire civilizations, once powerful and advanced, had fallen. Cities deserted, palaces destroyed, knowledge lost. In the wake of collapse, the Mediterranean region entered a dark age. The intricate systems of trade, writing, monumental architecture, and centralized states dissolved or transformed. Writing systems, such as the old scripts used by Mycenaeans, vanished for centuries. Fiveable +2 World History Encyclopedia +2. Art, architecture, luxury crafts, long-distance trade, all declined sharply. Many regions reverted to simpler, localized communities. Political power fragmented. Smaller communities replaced large states. Yet, from this rubble rose change. The shortage of bronze and disruption in tin supply made people seek alternatives. This ushered in the age of iron. Iron tools and weapons gradually replaced bronze ones. New societies slowly emerged, different in structure, simpler in some aspects, but the world had changed. World History Encyclopedia +2 Wikipedia +2. The collapse redefined not just civilizations, but also the course of human technology, culture, and social organization. Interdependence, trade networks, resource reliance, global economy, can be both society's strength and its vulnerability. When environmental stress, resource shortage, climate shift, social strain, and external shocks combine, even mighty empires can crumble. Many scholars draw parallels with our modern globalized world. Climate change, supply chain dependencies, social inequalities, political fragility, all factors that can destabilize societies if mismanaged. The collapse reminds us of how fragile complexity can be. In remembering this ancient fall, not with panic, but with calm contemplation, we can learn humility, resilience, and maybe reshape our path forward more wisely. So today, as you drift into sleep, think of that ancient world, of brilliant cities, golden trade, mighty empires, and of how fragile it all was. Remember how even the grandest civilizations can fade if the storms of history grow too strong. May their story rest gently in your mind, a whisper from millennia ago. Good night,